you're watching WION. I'm Sana Khan. Let's get you the headlines we're tracking at this hour first. AIADMK MLAs backing Sasikala taken away in buses may be brought to Delhi and paraded before the president. O. Paneerselvam refuses to quit, says will prove majority in the assembly. Sasikala sacks O. Paneerselvam's aide, says will not tolerate betrayal, vows to keep the party united. Well, over the next half hour, we get you the major political developments taking place in Tamil Nadu minute by minute. Chief Minister O. Paneerselvam, well, he has refused to quit, saying that he will prove majority in the Tamil Nadu Assembly. MLAs supporting Sasikala have been taken away in buses to an undisclosed location. Reports say they may be paraded before the president in New Delhi. Paneerselvam spoke to the media at his Chennai residence earlier today, a day after he claimed he was forced to step down in order to make way for Sasikala Natarajan to take over as the state's chief minister. Let's listen in.
இன்றைக்கு இருக்கின்ற அனைத்து இந்திய அண்ணா திராவிட முன்னேற்ற கழகத்தினர் 135 சட்டமன்ற உறுப்பினர்களும் உறுதியாக எனக்கு ஆதரவு தந்து கொண்டிருக்கிறார்கள். பாரதிய ஜனதா கட்சி மத்தியில் ஆளுகின்ற நிலையில் இருக்கிறது. நாங்கள் இங்கே மாநிலத்தில் ஆளுகின்ற நிலையில் இருக்கின்றோம். ஏற்கனவே மாண்புமிகு இதய தெய்வம் புரட்சித் தலைவி அம்மா அவர்கள் தமிழக மக்களுடைய உரிமைகளுக்கு நாங்கள் தொடர்ந்து குரல் கொடுப்போம், பங்கம் ஏற்படுகின்ற பொழுது அதனுடைய நியாயத்தை நாங்கள் எடுத்துச் சொல்வோம், மக்களுக்கு ஏற்றுக்கொள்ளக்கூடிய திட்டங்களைத்தான் நாங்கள் வரவேற்போம், மக்களுக்கு விரோதமாக இருக்கின்ற திட்டங்களை மத்தியில் யார் ஆட்சியில் இருந்தாலும் நாங்கள் அதை எதிர்ப்போம் என்று சொல்கிறார். அதே நிலைதான் எங்களுக்கும். சட்டமன்ற உறுப்பினர் அனைவருமே எங்களோடு தான் இருக்கிறார்கள். இன்றைக்கு இருக்கின்ற சூழ்நிலையில் தமிழகத்தினுடைய பொதுமக்கள் அனைத்து இந்திய அண்ணா திராவிட முன்னேற்ற கழகத்தினுடைய புரட்சி தலைவர் எம்ஜிஆர் அவருடைய ரத்தத்தின் ரத்தங்களாக என்ற மாண்புமிகு அம்மா அவர்கள் தங்களுடைய ஒவ்வொரு உரையிலும் சொல்வார்களே, அந்த கட்சியினுடைய ஆணிவராக விளங்கிக் கொண்டிருக்கின்ற செயல் வீரர்கள் அனைவரும் அன்பை நாங்கள் பெற்றிருக்கிறோம்.
Now, Paneerselvam, he took a meeting with Jayalalitha's niece Deepa Jayakumar earlier and said that he will accept her support if it's offered. Also, another development, AIADMK chief Sasikala Natarajan on Tuesday, she rebuffed Paneerselvam's allegations that he was forced to step down, calling it a conspiracy by the opposition. After a meeting of the party MLAs, she claimed majority support and vowed to crush any attempt to break the party.
அதன் பின்னால் நடைபெற்ற நிகழ்வுகள் அனைத்தையும் நான் உற்று நோக்கிய நிலையில் சட்டமன்ற நிறைவுகளில் அம்மா அவர்களை அழிக்க துடித்த திமுகவுடன் கழகத்திற்கு கேட்டையும் நாசத்தையும் விளைவித்த திமுகவுடனான அவரின் செயல்கள் துரோகமும் விரோதமும் கைகோர்த்து வந்தாலும் அவை தோற்று ஓடும், தோற்க வைப்போம். இது சத்தியம், வெளிவந்த செய்திதான். அது கடைசி நேரத்தில் தான் தனக்கு தெரிய வந்தது என்பது போன்ற திரு ஓ. பன்னீர்செல்வத்தின் பேச்சை யாரும் நம்ப மாட்டார்கள். கட்டாயப்படுத்தினார்கள் என்கிறார். என்னை சட்டமன்ற குழு தலைவராக முன்மொழிந்தவர் என் அருகில் அமர்ந்து உரையாடி கொண்டுதான் இருந்தார். 48 மணி நேரம் கழித்து ஒரு பொய்யை சொல்கிறார் என்றால் அந்த இடைப்பட்ட நேரத்தில் நடந்தது என்ன? யார் யாருடன் ஆலோசித்தார்?
All right, in fact, let's try and understand what's happening as far as the politics in Tamil Nadu is concerned. Joining me live right now is Archit Seshadri. He's in Chennai tracking all the developments. Raghavendra Rao, our correspondent, is stationed at the Vijay Chowk. With me here in the studio is Karthike Sharma, our chief domestic correspondent. Archit, if I can come to you first, the latest coming in from Chennai is that a lot of MLAs have been taken in a bus to an undisclosed location, and they might be, headed for New Delhi and maybe meeting the president. Give us a sense of what you're gathering on the ground there.
That's right, Sana. We just heard that in the last hour or so, that new information coming in with regards to the number of MLAs that have gathered together. So the big question at this hour is, how many of them are there? Where are they headed? What are they going to be talking about? So that is sort of the unknowns that we don't know at this hour, trying to get some insight whether, that has anything to do with, of course, the big debate here, which is what everybody's talking about between Sasikala Natarajan and Paneerselvam. I'm actually here outside of Paneerselvam's house here. A huge crowd gathered earlier, sort of pockets in and out, and emotions were certainly running high. We were talking to people who basically said that they are behind Paneerselvam, that he has the most political experience and he should be the state's next chief minister. They don't believe that Sasikala should have any role. And, we talked to some people. They said that if Sasikala were to be the chief minister, then Amma Jayalalitha would have appointed or given her some role, despite having such close proximity, spending so much time at Post Garden. So that's the sentiment that we're getting here from the ground. Let me now toss over to Raghavendra Rao, who's standing by in New Delhi at Vijay Chowk. Raghavendra, thanks again for joining us. Lots happening in the political front, lots of developments. We understand that the opposition DMK leader Stalin, in fact, was in Delhi recently. Sort of give us a perspective of what the mood is like there in the nation's capital.
Well, yes, Archit, in Delhi, the central government is keeping a close watch on the activities that are taking place in Tamil Nadu at the moment. Politically also, all the political players, be it the BJP, be it the Congress, all of them are, as of now adopting a wait and watch policy. They're just seeing and watching how the events play out in the days to come. Remember, Friday or the next Monday could be the day when the Supreme Court announces its verdict in the disproportionate assets case against Sasikala. So that is the big day, for which everybody is waiting for, and that could indeed set the tone for events that may follow. With the Tamil Nadu governor having, made himself completely unavailable in the state, there is a lot of speculation that, the central government, could be, could have a role in this. Governors, remember, are central government appointees and are appointed by the party in power. The Tamil Nadu governor, the way he has, remained completely incommunicado over the past few days, he has not, gone to Tamil Nadu. That is also being seen in that light. The Ministry of Home Affairs is keeping a very, close vigil on the events that are playing out. The possibility of a president's rule is being talked about,
right,
but not that vociferously. So all the major players currently in a wait and watch mode here.
Absolutely. A wait and watch mode. That's the sense we are gathering as far as the governor and the other players are concerned. Karthike, it all boils down to the numbers now, and that's very evident with these MLAs being paraded to an undisclosed location, making sure that no horse trading takes place.
It depends what Sasikala wants to do, whether Sasikala wants to take them to the President of India, whether she wants to take them to the Vidyasagar's residence, governor. It all depends on her. Right now, Sasikala has the number. It has all boiled down to numbers. Though Paneerselvam has the sympathy. A lot of people on net, a lot of people from different parts of the world are supporting him. But Sana, ultimately in politics, number makes a difference. She is General Secretary of the party. She is going to be the Chief Minister. So it will all depend now on the exercise of constitutional power by governor, which can be broken down into 4 parts. He can suspend the assembly. He can dissolve it and call for fresh elections. He can return the resignation of Paneerselvam and ask him to continue.
Right.
Or he can continue with, and he can call for Sasikala and make her the chief minister. But then it will have to go through the motion of no confidence in the House. Till then, this controversy will continue. Once the no confidence motion is placed, once she proves that she has the number, everything will come to rest.
Right. But there is a lot of uncertainty in terms of politics in the state as well. Many say that it's very uncertain, Archit, as to the numbers are with Sasikala today. Tomorrow things might change because we saw that dramatic development late last night. In terms of support for Sasikala and Selvam, it's quite clear at this point that the MLAs are with Sasikala, though the people of the state largely have sympathy towards Selvam. Is that correct?
Sana, absolutely, that's certainly the sentiment that we're also picking up from the ground here. Earlier on this week, the timeline, Sunday, that emergency meeting that was called, and then when Sasikala was elected the legislative leader of the AIADMK party, and then, every day it seemed like something new came up, and then, of course, that dramatic development that took place when Selvam announced at Marina Beach at press conference late last night. Of course, me and you both were sort of anchoring and gathering that as we saw it, unfold live, and now that is what everybody here, at least from Selvam's house, is saying that he is the one with political experience. He is the one who has stood by Jayalalitha, and this is what Jayalalitha would have wanted. Again, the sentiment saying if Sasikala was to be appointed by Jayalalitha, why didn't she give her any kind of role despite being a close friend during all the time? And the other big speculation that's sort of brewing is Deepa J. Kumar maybe teaming together, Deepa J. Kumar being Jayalalitha's niece with Selvam. So certainly a very interesting juxtaposition of who's going to take whose side. Even the opposition, Stalin, DMK, taking really Selvam's side, and then now Sasikala coming and saying, you know what, this is just the opposition trying to stir the pot.
Absolutely. Raghavendra, has the Election Commission said anything about Sasikala's appointment as the AIADMK General Secretary as of now? Any word from the Election Commission on that?
Well, no word at all. I mean, there have been some reports emanating suggesting that the Election Commission has intervened into the matter, but those reports are not correct. We have clarified it with the Election Commission. What the Election Commission did was 4 or 5 days back, when they received a representation from Sasikala Pushpa, the MP, the sacked MP from AIADMK, who had written to EC saying Sasikala Natarajan's elevation to the post of General Secretary was undemocratic and procedures were not followed in her appointment. Following that letter, the EC wrote to AIADMK, attached a copy of that complaint, and sought the party's response. Remember, this was just a communication, this was not a notice, and there was no deadline fixed in that letter for the party to respond to the Election Commission. So the EC, as of now, has not initiated any kind of a formal notice or a show cause kind of a thing to
Right.
AIADMK. It has just forwarded the complaint made by Sasikala Pushpa and has sought the party's comments on it.
All right, Raghavendra and Archit, do stay with me. Karthike, with what's playing out in the state of Tamil Nadu, who, according to you, a political party is set to, gain or capitalize on this crisis that we're seeing?
See, the only person, more than political party, who's set to capitalize is Stalin. With Jayalalitha, there was a transition from MGR which had taken place. Post Jayalalitha, there's a fight between Selvam, leaders like Pandyan or Matrion on one side, and Sasikala and other leaders on the other side. But Karunanidhi did not pass the baton. Karunanidhi is in early 90s. Stalin himself is in 60s. So Stalin is almost like Prince Harry. He's like the king in waiting. And despite the fact he ran the party, he has never got the due. Stalin was one person who also gave arrest when emergency took place. So Stalin's career is checkered and long. So it's going to have an impact on Stalin, because once you have a split ADMK or a weakened ADMK, it's Stalin who's going to challenge it. And through this, Stalin's leadership is going to be proved. So it's an opening. And secondly, in case the party splits, they fail to provide iconic leadership, one has to see that those who are dispossessed within the ADMK, those castes, where do they go? Because Selvam also has a caste.
Absolutely. That's a valid point that you make. And very recently, a couple of weeks ago, Stalin was also elevated within the party. Archit, I'd like to come to you at this point in time. Give us a sense of what's been happening through the day and what are the developments that are expected in, later in the evening today in Chennai.
Well, you know, one of the biggest developments that just happened within the last hour, party sources are telling WION that about 130 MLAs have sort of been secretly taken away outside of Chennai to avoid all the horse trading and all the commotion that's to be expected here, possibly on their way to New Delhi to meet with the, the president so that they can have the governor, Vidyasagar Rao, come back to Chennai for the swearing-in ceremony. And as we talked about earlier, many members of the AIADMK party, many of those MLAs do want Sasikala Natarajan to really take that role and become the next chief minister. And the people of Tamil Nadu really want Paneerselvam. He's being hailed as a hero. So it's sort of a big divide between the party versus the people of the state. And the sentiments that we're getting is, what happened to Jayalalitha during those last 2 months in hospital? Why were no pictures released? Why was there no video? Why was there no updates on the health conditions? Lots of answers that people here wanted, emotions running high. We saw people crying, squealing, just very much in distress, saying that Sasikala Natarajan is a fraud, that she should not be the chief minister. So certainly a mixed bag of emotions here. People really rooting on for the man with political experience, and that is Paneerselvam.
Right. Karthike, Tamil Nadu's governor, Vidyasagar Rao, his no-show at Chennai, staying away from these developments for now. How do you see this? Do you see this as a helping hand for the anti-Sasikala camp?
Well, I would say that the fact that he has not gone there is an exercise in the choice of giving time to Paneerselvam. He is giving time. For example, when the report came from Arunachal Pradesh, a lot of members, or from Uttaranchal, which is a better example, a lot of people felt that the governor has given too much time to Harish Rawat. But the fact of the matter is, he exercised his choice. So this time around, Mr. Rao is giving him a choice. He will have 72 hours to prove himself. But I think the real problem for Bharatiya Janata Party, or I think the real vexed issue for them is, how do they organize themselves a problem like this in a state like Tamil Nadu and reconfigure it to suit themselves for the presidential elections? Because these states, all the MLAs, they are part and parcel of the presidential election. For Bharatiya Janata Party, it is not about Paneerselvam or Sasikala. It is part of a tactic that those who are going to be in power remain with them. Because this time around, they are in this, they have the chance to make a president. So they still don't have a majority in the electoral college. They don't have that sana. Right. But at least they have the striking chance, because for that they'll need ADMK, they'll need BJD, they'll need Shiva Sena, they'll need Shiromani Akali Dal. Together, and BJP can do that. Without them, they will not have a president of their own.
All right. Raghavendra, coming to you now, what's the sense that you're picking up from the Home Ministry as far as imposition of President's rule is concerned? We have talked about it, that there is, very unlikely that President's rule will be imposed in the state, because the governor is just waiting for things to play out and perhaps let Sasikala or Paneerselvam get the numbers in the state assembly.
Well, absolutely. And as of now, the Home Ministry is just, keeping a close watch on the events as they are unfolding in Tamil Nadu. We are, expecting a request coming in from Paneerselvam anytime, in a few hours from now or maybe tomorrow, seeking an appointment with Home Minister Rajnath Singh. That request hasn't come in as yet, but it is expected that it will happen soon. Rajnath Singh is not in Delhi today. He is campaigning for the upcoming Uttar Pradesh polls and is out in that state today. He's likely to return by today evening. So it is only after once he returns back, there is a likelihood that a formal request from OPS is likely to come in to Mr. Rajnath Singh's office. Meanwhile, the talk of President's rule is there. It is not something it's not something that has been completely ruled out here. But yes, as of now, it is being thought of as a little too premature to even, discuss President's rule in the state. The center, the Home Ministry, they are just, just waiting and watching for the events to unfold. And yes, I mean, if a situation arises in the next couple of days, and if it warrants the imposition of a President's rule, that option is always available to the center.
Right. Prasad Bosekar, our correspondent, is also in Chennai tracking developments for us here very, very closely. Prasad, thanks for joining us. You were speaking to Paneerselvam earlier. Give us a sense of what you gather. What's his strategy at this point in time? What's going to be his next move?
Honestly speaking, there seems to be no strategy with Paneerselvam as of now. The reason being, all the MLAs, like in the morning we saw, they were with Sasikala at the AIADMK office. And right now, what we are hearing is all those MLAs are being herded to a 5-star hotel near airport in Chennai. So Sasikala is gathering as much strength as possible, as many MLAs with her. So right now, Paneerselvam, apart from an MP and a few leaders, we haven't seen anybody coming and supporting him over here.
Also, Prasad, but he's made statements after last night today again saying that he wants a panel to probe Jayalalitha's death. Is that perhaps one angle that he's going to use to get again the sympathy of the people? But we also know that it's not the sympathy of the people that will put him in the spot of the chief minister, but it's the numbers which apparently are with Sasikala at this point in time.
Exactly, the numbers matter right now, and definitely he has said in the morning in my interview that he will get Jayalalitha's death probed by a retired judge. But now, at this hour, at this time, you know, all these days he has been keeping quiet, though being a chief minister and a quite close confidant who has been going to hospital regularly. But now his outburst and him saying he, you know, he'll get it probed by a retired judge. I don't know how much water does it hold.
Right, Prasad, do stay with me. Karthike, what's going to happen next? What do you make of these developments that are taking place? It's all about the numbers. We've talked about it, but a lot depends on what Paneerselvam does next. He sprung a surprise last evening.
You know, Sana, two things can happen. Either she can take these MLAs to the president, or she can take them to the governor, and she can call for the floor test. I think these are a couple of issues which need to be sorted out. What Centre is doing is, it's giving enough time to Paneerselvam and Sasikala to organize themselves. Whoever comes out as a winner with more number will be able to lay claim to the position of the chief minister. It's as simple as that. So my idea is that Sasikala as of now has been able to prove herself. Yes, senior party leaders like Pandya and Mr. Mathrian, one of the spokesperson, former MLA Adar, she had spoken on this issue and against Sasikala, but in politics the number counts. Number has gone with her. Look at the example of Arunachal Pradesh. All said and done, ultimately Kalikopul couldn't retain anyone. Everyone went out. They became, the Congress lost it. The Congress became Bharatiya Janata Party over a period of 4 months in Arunachal Pradesh. Or look at what happened in Uttaranchal. Harish Rawat was able to stem the revolt. And sometimes when you are party in power, MLAs don't like to be adventurous, Sana. They don't want to wreck the party. Anyhow, you have done something miraculous. You have come back to power again in a state like Tamil Nadu, which alternates. Something which only Ramchandran MGR could do it. That is 1980s, far gone. And now you have done it. So who would like to risk it? Which minister would like to risk it? MLAs are part of cooperation, other things. Right. We all know Indian political economy functions on the larger web of patronage. Who wants to disturb that? No one wants to disturb that. And I think that status quo will allow Sasikala to continue, Sana.
Right. Archit, you know, the politics of a state like Tamil Nadu is very, very interesting. It works on people's sentiments to some extent. Now, at this point in time, what are you gathering on the ground? What do the people want? Do they want Paneerselvam as their chief minister or Sasikala? Or the most important for them is perhaps stability in terms of politics in the state?
Sana, absolutely. That's a very interesting, question that you raise. I think the biggest takeaway that people are saying is once Jayalalitha died, when everybody was in mourning and just shocked, surprised that nobody really would be able to fill her shoes, little did they expect this much would happen in the 2 months after her death. The hints of new political parties emerging, the hints of the AIADMK splitting, and then now this, the Deepa Jayakumar coming out of the woodworks, her niece, her close aide, Sasikala Natarajan, trying to steal the throne, and then now Paneerselvam sort of being pushed out, and then coming back and surprising people. But again, at least from where we are here outside of Paneerselvam's home, of course, that's what we're going to expect and hear, people who support Paneerselvam. But let me also tell you, we were there earlier at Pose Garden, where Jayalalitha lived, and that is where Sasikala is now, and certainly the sentiments there could be different. As we mentioned earlier, the people who are part of the political party AIADMK support Sasikala, but we do know that Paneerselvam is being hailed a hero and really gathering the sentiments from the people of Tamil Nadu. He has political experience. He was there talking to Jayalalitha. Whatever Amma asked him to do, he did so, even serving as many roles within the party, never betraying that. So that certainly has a lot of play here in Tamil Nadu, where sentiments do run high. People also did tell me that if Jayalalitha was still in power, Jallikattu would have been handled very differently. So it just goes to show that maybe there's no one to replace Amma, but Paneerselvam, at least in their minds, is the only man that comes close.
All right, but then the style of both of them is something which is very different. I'm going to talk more about that in just a bit, but for a quick moment, let me go across to Prasad Bhosekar. Prasad, from the looks of it, it looks like Sasikala has the numbers. She might be the next Chief Minister of the state. But in that case, the question is for how long will she be able to hold fort? Because there are dissenters like O. Selvam, you have Deepa Jayakumar, you have Sasikala Pushpa. There could be a possibility that they float their own party and hell, there would be more rumblings within the politics, within the AIADMK in the state.
Sana, all these people don't have numbers. As of now, only Sasikala has the numbers from what we have seen in the morning. The way she got MLAs to AIADMK office, and now also almost all the MLAs are with her. Now, like in later point of time, if MLAs switch over or cross over, that's a different story altogether. But as of now, Sasikala looks to be very strong, whereas Selvam is trying to play emotional card. Deepa too wants to have her own share, but we don't know. In politics, numbers matter.
Right. Karthike, what's your perspective on that? In the long run, do you think it would be a very unstable AIADMK from the looks of what we're seeing at this point?
No, I don't think so. I personally feel that people grow. People felt that there will be nothing after MGR, Jayalalitha came. People felt that after Kamraj there can be no leader. Annadurai went on to become the Chief Minister. In 1950s, in Parliament, the Dravidian leader said Tamil Nadu will secede from India, but they changed their stand. People felt who will replace DMK, but MGR came. You have different styles of leadership. If Sasikala is there, she'll be evaluated on her work, on her style. And see, the politics of Tamil Nadu, you have to incorporate a sense of supreme leadership, an idea of cult, and strong-willed women leaders which are respected in the political narrative.
But at that point, I want to ask you, do you see reflections of Jayalalitha in Sasikala's style of working? Dissenters, you move them away, you get rid of them. That's something we've seen
I
more
think she has absorbed it well from her boss. You ask Sonia Gandhi, where did you learn your politics from? She would, 99 out of 100, after 100 times, she would say, I learned it from my mother-in-law, Indira Gandhi. She even didn't give the credit to Rajiv Gandhi or the reading or the writings of Jawaharlal Nehru. She would always say that, everything I've learned is from Indira. Obviously, she must have picked 80 or 90% of things. She lived with Jayalalitha. Jayalalitha described her as the closest thing to her sister. So obviously, she has picked up the traits of Jayalalitha, but more than that, she's the holder of secrets. See, the Poets Garden is not like an open house. It's not like Rashtrapati Bhavan that you could take a guided tour. It's a place very few people had the entry, and that too at the outskirts of the bungalow. So, and she is the keeper of that secret. So, till she keeps those secrets, she will be safe. And that's the reason why the doctors came and gave that explanation that she didn't fall or there was no such report. She passed away because of the complication accruing to infection.
Right. Right. Before we close the show, Archit, a quick question. Do people still have a very strong connect, and do they believe that Jayalalitha's, the way she died and her treatment at the hospital, all of that should be looked into and there should be a proper probe that should be carried out? Or what is the sense that you're getting there?
Sana, absolutely. That's exactly what people are saying, and they really pointed blame at Sasikala, saying that why wasn't her niece, Deepa Jayakumar, allowed in the hospital? Why was she not allowed a blood relative? Even if she may have been estranged, why was she not allowed during those critical moments when Jayalalitha was in the hospital? So they certainly penned and alluded that Sasikala may have had a role, a personal agenda, and clearly 2 months later, where we're seeing where she's rising up the ranks of the party. So that is why they really are putting their thrust and their trust, rather, to Selvam. They believe he is the right man. He is the man of integrity and the man who will keep Jayalalitha's legacy alive.
Right. Tamil Nadu is in the midst of a political crisis, but like every other time, we hope this time around as well, people will understand there will be a suitable replacement for Jayalalitha in place for a long-term period. We'll have to leave it at that. Thanks so much for joining us, Archit Seshadri, Prasad Bhosekar, Raghavendra Rao, as well as Karthike Sharma with the very latest. We will continue to track the latest on after Sasikala's elevation to O. Selvam's revolt in the state. Taking a short break, be right back.